Imagine a home that breathes, not just shelters, but exhales, where silence isn't empty, it's full, where the wood in the walls still smells like rain, and the metal, though cold to the touch, hums with memory. This isn't just a building, it's a return to something older, something wilder, something we almost forgot. Did you know that 70% of homeowners feel their space doesn't reflect their style? Don't be part of that statistic. Subscribe and start designing a home that truly feels yours. It began as a barn, nothing more than bones and dust. But somehow, you can feel it. It always wanted to be more. Now it stands quiet and alive, steel kissed by fog, stone warmed by breath, and light that doesn't just enter, it lingers. It's not loud. It doesn't need to be. You don't walk into it. You arrive, and it receives you. And right here at the edge of the known and the natural, we begin a story not of bricks and beams, but of belonging. This is organic modern. This is home as it was always meant to be. And just ahead, we'll step inside. But first, listen. Hear that? That's not the wind. That's the soul of the forest, welcoming you back. This is no ordinary barn. It's a heartbeat carved in cedar, framed in blackened steel, rooted deep in the soil that once fed generations. There's something ancient in its stillness, not frozen, but present. Awake, as if the ground remembers every footstep that ever crossed it, and the walls carry whispers of forgotten harvests. A beautiful home is not a dream, it's an art, and you're the artist. Subscribe and start creating spaces that speak to the soul. The siding, worn by time, doesn't pretend to be perfect. It's honest, a patchwork of knots and grain and weathered scars. Each board tells a chapter, not in words, but in the texture of survival. You can almost smell the smoke from winters long gone, taste the sun baked into the wood. Even the steel, sharp, modern, unforgiving, seems softened here, not tamed, but in agreement. And when morning arrives, it doesn't just light the structure, it reveals it. The gold brushing against aged timber, the gentle glow behind the glass. It feels like the house is breathing with the dawn. A single chime stirs in the breeze. Not decoration, but invitation. Because this home isn't just built, it's grown. And beneath its quiet presence there's a pulse you can't unfeel. When the old beams groaned under history's weight, a dreamer listened and heard possibility. Most would have walked past it. Sagging roof, walls leaning like tired shoulders, a relic left behind by time. But not them. They saw not ruin, but roots. Not decay, but potential, waiting quietly beneath dust and silence. There's a kind of vision that doesn't chase shine. It looks deeper. It hears the creak of timber and understands it's not weakness, it's wisdom. Transform your home. Transform your life. Subscribe now and let's create spaces you'll love forever. This dreamer, whoever they were, stood still long enough to feel the soul of the place, to ask, what were you once? And more importantly, what could you become? Sketches followed. Rough at first, just lines, just hopes. But they began to bloom. Glass where there were gaps, warmth where there was wind. A future that honored the past, not erased it. And yet, we still don't know everything. Not yet. Why here, at the edge of nowhere? Why now, when speed is king and patience is rare? Was it memory that pulled them in? Or longing? Whatever it was, it began with a whisper and a promise to bring something sacred back to life. The change didn't happen all at once. It was careful, patient, like tending a wild garden back to bloom. Hands arrived first, craftspeople with dirt under their nails and reverence in their touch. They didn't tear down. They uncovered. They listened to the bones of the place and worked with them, not against. Every nail was a note in a song between nature and design. Every joint, a vow that old and new can dance. They salvaged century-old planks, still strong, still singing, laid them beside raw steel and smooth stone, a meeting of opposites that felt, somehow, like fate. Walls gave way to windows, not barriers, but invitations. Glass that opened wide, letting meadow-scented air drift in like memory returning home. Above, the roof bloomed, not with tile but with life, a living canopy of wildflowers and moss, rooted in the same earth it once overlooked. It became something more than shelter. It became alive. But even with all its beauty, there's still something this place hasn't shown you. A quiet room tucked just out of sight, where wonder gathers and breath slows. We're not there yet, but soon. You'll see. Step inside, and everything changes. The world outside softens, and the air hums with the stillness that doesn't ask for silence. It offers it. Polished concrete stretches out beneath you, cool and grounding, mirroring the raw-hewn rafters above. They're grain like fingerprints of forgotten forests. In the center, an olive tree rises. Not planted, placed as if it always belonged here. A sculptural staircase spirals gently around it, touching nothing, disturbing nothing. And the walls, they don't shine, they breathe. Clay-washed, warm to the eye, each surface kissed by shifting light that flickers like candle flame at dusk. There are no harsh lines, no need for them. Edges curve where they must. Openings aren't framed, they're revealed. Notice how the home exhales. Daylight spills, shadows retreat, and you, dear traveler, feel the pulse beneath your feet. Not loud, not bold, just steady. This is not a house you move through. It moves with you. But there's more. A part of this place still unseen. Hidden, not for secrecy, but for timing. Because some spaces don't speak until you're ready to listen. And just ahead, one of them is waiting. There's a wall that doesn't quite belong. Too smooth, too silent. And then, without warning, it shifts. A door you didn't notice slides open, revealing something the rest of the house has been gently hiding. A sanctuary. Above, suspended in air and intention, a meditation loft floats, still, calm, weightless. Below it, an indoor stream traces a quiet path, its waters slow, deliberate, like breath drawn in and held. Here, water sings the lullaby of the land, and time slips its chains. You don't enter this room. You dissolve into it. Its purpose isn't to impress, it's to empty, to soften the edges you didn't know were sharp, to remind you that even in design, there is mercy. No noise reaches this space, only the hush of water, the distant echo of wind, and the soft rhythm of your own becoming. This wasn't added for style. It was built for stillness, for remembering how to be quiet with yourself, how to listen without needing answers. And in that suspended moment, as you sit above a stream that has no destination, you realize you've never truly stopped. Until now. The light fades gently now, not gone, just turning inward. Twilight settles like a hush, and the barndominium glows from within, as if lit by memory itself. Outside, the air grows still, and just beyond these timbers, a vacant pasture waits, untouched, unclaimed, not by accident, but by invitation. It's easy to believe this place was a one-time miracle, a singular vision, never to be repeated. But that's not the truth. The truth is, there are more stories buried in soil, more barns whispering beneath rust and weather, more spaces waiting for someone bold enough to stand still and listen. Could that be you? Could your hands shape the next echo of this dream? Could your heart recognize the quiet call most people never hear? This isn't just architecture, it's a movement, a remembering, a return. Subscribe. Join us on this journey, because somewhere out there, another sleeping giant is waiting to be woken, and it won't rise without you. The story isn't finished. Not even close.